about 10, 12 days in, and really hope that this has been helpful for someone and they've pulled out a few gems from these lives with some people on our team. We have some guests outside of our team that'll be coming in the next few weeks that I'm excited about as well. But today I have Amy, who we love because she, for a lot of reasons, we love Amy for a bajillion reasons, but she has a really special skill set when it comes to mind-body health, which she always brings to the table and brings that perspective, which is perfect for today's topic, because we're going to talk about something that I feel like feeds the mind and the spirit and the body, which is chocolate. So Amy, thank you for joining me here today.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're talking with me about chocolate, because I do have just a little stash of some dark, low sugar, dark chocolate coconut things in my my drawer over here. Because let's be real, like we all have our things that just makes life a little bit more pleasurable. And there's nothing wrong with that. And when we're working with a chronic health condition, we need to find ways to incorporate something that we're used to, maybe an alternative, right? And chocolate is one of those things so many people really do better when they can still have a little bit. And with the mind-body nutrition piece, I like to just bring to the table that food is amoral. It is not good. It is not bad. So we don't need to assign labels to food. There are certain foods that as we consume them, they're more health promoting, and some that may not. But we need to kind of get rid of that language like chocolate. I'm being bad because I'm having chocolate. No. So there's actually a lot of health benefits to chocolate, right, Jess?
Yeah, that's true. Tell us just a little bit about chocolate. And to preface this, we know chocolate's a big question because it ends up on a lot of, you go look like, what's the best diet for kidney disease? Chocolate ends up on the negative list. And that traditionally has been because per 100 ounces, it has a lot of phosphorus. And so people are like, oh, it's high phosphorus, you can't use kidney disease. However, I will say we use chocolate fairly, when I say regularly, it's not like every meal, but we use it in our recipes as appropriate because it fits in really well in some places. So I think it just fits in the diet, and we'll discuss on portion size, but tell me just a little bit on the health benefits of chocolate, because everyone in kidney world is thinking, oh, chocolate's like the worst thing ever, don't eat chocolate. But what are actually some health benefits to chocolate that would pertain to kidney disease?
So chocolate, in particular, dark chocolate, which is made from the cacao, right, is very potent antioxidants, polyphenols. That's just a fancy word for the compounds that are found in a plant that have benefit to our body. So dark chocolate is something we don't necessarily need to or want to eliminate. And you already mentioned it does contain some phosphorus and potassium, but just like everything else that's listed either good or bad on a renal diet, there needs to be some customization and looking at your individual diet to see how we can fit it in, because we usually can. But the other benefit is that actually there's some research showing that chocolate actually, when it's broken down in the gut, is a food for some of the good bacteria in your gut. So that just helps you have a healthy microbiome. And so that actually brought benefit to the kidney in the study that I was looking at. So, I think that, again, these health foods, they're not necessarily good or bad. And there are some health food components to dark chocolate, but we need to be using it, in a responsible way, and portion control, right? I mean, that's with anything. The dose is the poison. That's what my food psychology instructor always said, was the dose is the poison. Like if you drink Diet Pepsi all day, it's not going to be good for your system. You eat dark chocolate all day, even though it's got some health components, not good for your system. So
perfect. Yeah. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. If you have CKD versus PKD, are there different considerations when it would come to chocolate for these different populations? Maybe something that would impact your choice on how much you could have?
Yeah, that is a great question. I'm glad you asked. So with PKD, we have to be concerned about, the oxalate metabolism that puts people more at risk for kidney stones, and also can actually be involved with the pathway of cyst formation. So yes, there is concern for that, but it can still be incorporated in small amounts, just like the other foods that may be modest or moderate amounts of oxalates. We want to be really careful with high oxalate foods, right? The really high ones, beets, potatoes, rhubarb, spinach, cashews, almonds, all those things, high in oxalate. But chocolate, you can work with it. And white chocolate is actually going to be lower in oxalates than dark chocolate. So you do need to be careful with PKD about how much and what type you're using. With CKD, it's more the issue of, do you have a high potassium in your blood? Is that a trend for you? You do need to be careful with your portion size. A 3-ounce piece of dark chocolate is like 700 milligrams of potassium. That's a lot, right? That's like eating 2 bananas. So you do need to be careful with it with CKD as well, but it just depends on your labs, and you need to really work closely with your dietitian to see how much of this can I have.
Perfect. Good. So we've established a couple of things. Number one, you can have some chocolate if you have kidney disease. It is not going to kill your kidneys. It can be a great flavor enhancement. I think one of our recipes on the website is we have a granola that has a little bit of chocolate in it, and it's a really fantastic recipe. If you have PKD, you might be watching it for oxalates. If you have CKD, you might need to be aware of like big portions of it if you are concerned about potassium or phosphorus. Good. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
And a little recap there at the end. Well, that's awesome. Okay, so to tie things up, do you have a favorite chocolate, Amy?
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm not as big a fan of the really strong dark chocolate, which is of course, the most healthy.
Yeah.
I do like something from Costco called Unreal, and it's partially sweetened with stevia, so it's lower sugar, but still has some sugar in it.